The first two seasons of So Weird are awesome, with humor, drama, horror, and some real heart. And then everything goes to hell. Or rather, they don't. All Disney Channel shows back then were contractually obligated to deliver on exactly 65 episodes. Knowing there would be a third season, the executive producers pitched an idea for a season 3 that would continue the heavy themes of the show. If things had gone according to plan, instead of season 2 episode 17 Avatar, about a creeper kid cyber-stalking Fee and accidentally sucking Molly, Jack, and Carrie into the Matrix, season 2 episode 17 would have been Chrysalis. Chrysalis would have had a similar Fee-light adventure in which Carrie would have turned out to have an alcohol problem, in addition to playing host to a parasitic caterpillar, and Jack would have helped him out. At the same time, there would be a revisit of Rebecca from Season 1, Episode 9, Rebecca, a girl Molly was best friends with as a kid who one day abandoned her without notice, who Fee finds out is 1,300 years old, and had to move on to keep people from getting suspicious over her lack of aging. In Chrysalis, she was to make contact with Molly through email, and Molly's backstory as an alcoholic would have been explored. This was all to be set up for Rebecca's role in Season 3. Additionally, Season 2, Episode 26, Twin, would have had Rick reveal that Fee has some special destiny, and would have ended with the Wraith taking him out, leaving the threat of this evil alliance out there and giving Fee the motivation to investigate it to rescue her father. In Season 3, Jack would have ended up being the reincarnation of some ancient heroic knight, thus explaining why the dragon was afraid of him in Season 1, Episode 8, Strangeling.
He's afraid of you. Thinks you're a real knight.
I'm as real as your dragon.
And why a shot of him fades into an Oceanan suit of armor in Season 2, Episode 11, Banshee. Rebecca would have shown up to explain who Jack was in a past life, having known him personally. Jack would have joined Fee to fight the evil alliance. I also suspect Fee would have turned out to be a reincarnation of her great-grandmother, based on her exchange with the Banshee, in which Fee seems to think that the Banshee mistook her for her.
I know who you are.
Why would you hesitate to do what you've already done?
The aliens, which never do anything in the first two seasons past being mysterious, would have revealed that Fee has some special genetic makeup that makes her and various beings like her throughout the galaxy specifically qualified to help people. She would have been visited by her alien counterpart, who also had a father stolen by the forces of evil, and it would have helped her with information throughout the season. Molly's witch powers would have been explored, with the reveal that some of her songs are prophecies. Brooke would have possessed Fee herself, and Molly's priest brother would have then exorcised her. Brooke would ultimately switch sides because he doesn't like being in a hierarchy. The series would have ended with Fee traveling into hell, defeating the evil alliance, and rescuing her father. Because NX took Rick before his time, he would have been allowed to stay on Earth with his family. This is all foreshadowed in the In the Darkness song. Disney didn't like that. They wanted something lighter and more secular. They demanded a radical change in tone. About that time, Fee's actress Cara Delizia was getting a little restless in that role. She wanted to leave the Disney Channel, so they decided to write her out of the story. Season 3, Episode 1, Lightning Rod, has Brooke visit Fee one final time to make her abandon her search for the truth. He says that she's opened a doorway that must be closed or else her family will be threatened. Fee spontaneously gets stupid, says a random spell, endangers her family, and concludes that he's right.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
She falls for his trick and says an incantation to give up all her power, and her ring loses its engraving. Fortunately, she's able to defeat him through science, as he stupidly possessed her computer. She traps him in a floppy disk where he will presumably spend eternity, given that in a few years no one will know what a floppy disk is or be able to read it. With that last parting shot from the era of heavy themes, Fee decides to switch roles with Annie, a young teen singer hoping to jumpstart her career by traveling around with Molly Phillips. Fee gives Annie her ring and the engraving returns, signaling Annie's own magic aura. Annie has a spiritual guardian, a black panther that shows up to protect her from the various weird things that show up. The ongoing mystery is, what's up with the panther? Annie thinks she's imagining it until Season 3, Episode 10, Earth 101 has some aliens confirm it exists. Her aunt also freaks out in Lightning Rod when Annie mentions that her favorite country is Peru. creating the secondary mystery. Season 3, Episode 25, Annie's Song, reveals that her parents saved some noble savage native in Peru, and he blessed their daughter with a panther guardian. That's it. No secret destiny, just some stuff we already guessed and ultimately doesn't matter. Annie is really bland. Even though Fee arguably had more power, Annie's more of a Mary Sue. She's just a nice bright girl who can sing, has a magic pet, and helps people. There is nothing else to her. What happens with Jack is a little interesting. We see him get into photography as a hobby, and he sings a nice little inspirational song to a baby. Actually an elf baby, but he doesn't know that. He confronts the paranormal himself a bit, but there's no tie-in to his feelings about his dad and the afterlife. His whole night arc could only work with Fee's fight against N/X, so his character development slows to a snail's pace. Generally, the season stinks. They try hard to make things creepy, but most of the threat and seriousness is gone, and they're more just annoying and weird. While Season 1 and 2 has plotlines like a werewolf hunting Fee, Jack, and Carrie, and an imaginary friend becoming a bully and seriously hurting people, Season 3 has plotlines like aliens keeping them from getting their Thanksgiving dinner, and the kids having to babysit a mean baby that's really an elf. Even something that threatens, a town that cocoons people, is just bizarre. It's a town where the people are bees. There's no explanation for it. They're just humans that act like bees. They make honey and attack when they get agitated. Even Season 2 Episode 23, Shelter, a goofy breather episode about Fee being turned into a dog, has more dignity to it than Lightning Rod's stupid transformation plot. Here's an idea. Instead of giving the focus to a girl who resembles Fee in every way except the interesting ones, why not give it to Jack? He is of the O'Shannon bloodline. Fee's ring was once Rick's, so he'd have a reason to wear it. Even if we don't say he's a reincarnated knight, there's all sorts of interesting places he could be taken because of his issues with his father and getting over his defensive disbelief. And he could still come along in a subordinate role to keep the male-female balance present. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, the show ended with Season 2, and Season 3 never happened. The good years are good. Though always a kids' show, the characters are treated seriously, the danger is always real, and there are some very creepy parts. I'm curious if Supernatural could have been inspired by it, with the traveling around, investigating paranormal events, the mystery with the dad, and the Brick Ryu-like joking trickster. I actually got into Supernatural because someone said it was like so weird.